Story 1. We saw a man eating a woman's face. It was just a few weeks before Halloween. That time of year always brings back one horrifying memory from when I was about 7 years old. I loved Halloween. Trick-or-treating was my favorite. There was this house in our neighborhood. People said it had been abandoned after the owner suddenly moved away. No one knew why. That night, I was with my dad and a friend. While my dad was busy taking an important phone call, we decided to go knock on that old house's door, just for fun. The yard was overgrown, leaves everywhere. The place looked like no one had touched it in years. We stepped up to the door, and the moment we touched it, it creaked open. It wasn't locked. That should have been our first warning sign. Inside, everything was surprisingly intact. Furniture, decorations, everything looked untouched. But then, we saw something that still haunts me to this day. There was a man. He was eating the face of a woman. We screamed and ran. My dad came rushing toward us, asking what happened. Shaking, I told him everything, and he immediately called the police. But by the time they arrived, the man was gone. The woman's body was still there. Later, we found out the house wasn't abandoned at all. His wife had filed for divorce and left him. He fell into a deep depression and stopped leaving the house. Eventually, he began attacking anyone who walked past and eating them. Years have gone by, but I still wonder, if he only ate the flesh, where did he hide the rest of the bodies? And how did no one around smell anything? Story 2. True horror story of a truck driver. I started driving trucks when I was 25. Since then, I've seen a lot of strange things. I'm sure I've seen a few UFOs on some night drives, and I've encountered a lot of weird drivers. But this story, this one is different. This is the scariest, most unnatural thing that has ever happened to me. It happened on a country road in a place called Salt County. At that time, I was 37 years old. It was 2009, just an ordinary night of work. The radio was playing, a cup of coffee in hand. Nothing unusual happened at first. The road was quiet, too quiet, covered in a thick fog. The fog grew heavier with each mile. I hesitated. Should I stop and wait or keep going? In the end, I decided to continue. There was no one around, no lights, no cars. It seemed safe, or at least I thought so. I slowed down, just in case. In these places, animals might run across the road anytime. And then, I smelled something. At first, I thought it was the smell of something rotting. But no, it was worse, much worse. Within seconds, the cabin was filled with that horrifying stench. I rolled down the windows, but it didn't help. The smell clung to my clothes. It burned my throat. It made me feel sick. I couldn't take it anymore. I braked hard, opened the door, and vomited right on the side of the road. After a few minutes, I pulled myself together, covered my nose, climbed back into the truck, tried to forget it. That's when I saw someone cross the road. A man, limping, wearing a white shirt and black pants. The shirt was old, wrinkled, and stained. He walked like he was about to fall apart. I hesitated. I wasn't sure if I should help him or not. But before I could decide, 4 more people appeared from the fog. All of them were limping, all dressed like farmers, all looked like they were injured, all wearing strange, worn-out clothes. Strangest of all, they didn't react to my truck at all. Didn't look at it, didn't look at me, just walked silently across the road and disappeared into the mist. Let me be clear, this was a highway. There were no houses, no people, no villages nearby. I was still in shock. When one more figure stepped into the light, this time it was a child. I stepped out of the truck. I didn't walk over, just stood there and watched. The child was limping slowly, dressed like the others, same strange outfit. When the child reached the middle of the road, I shouted, "Do you need help?" The child stopped, turned to look at me, and I was frozen in place. That was no child's face. It was a rotting corpse. Sunken eyes, pale, peeling skin. My whole body went cold. Then it screamed, a high-pitched, terrifying scream that echoed through the night. And then it ran toward me, fast, very fast. I jumped into the truck, slammed the door shut, The scream multiplied. Countless other figures appeared, one by one. Each one more rotten than the last. Each face more terrifying, each pair of eyes more hollow. I hit the gas, sped off down the road, didn't dare to look back, but I could still see them in the mirrors. They were chasing me, reaching out, grinning wide. When I finally reached a town, I stopped at a gas station. But I didn't get out. I just sat there, my hands still shaking. That night, it changed everything. Now I know, the world isn't what we think it is, out there. There are things we can't explain, things we shouldn't see, things that sometimes... Story 3. The devil wanted to drag me to hell. My name is Ali, I'm from Germany. I experienced this when I was 12. That summer, I went to my grandparents' house to stay for a while. The house was quite old and located in a remote area. When I arrived at their place, it was already late and dark. I sat with my grandmother in the living room. Then I asked her a question. "Grandma, what is the scariest thing you've ever experienced?" She replied, "You're too young to hear about that." But I insisted. Finally, she agreed to tell me. Before the story, let me tell you a little about where she lived when she was young. She came from an old small village in Turkey, a place where people moved around on horseback. After I begged her long enough, she compromised. She said, "If you can't sleep tonight, it's not my fault." Then she asked, "Do you know what a demon looks like?" I said, "They look like little men with 2 horns on their heads." She said, "No. The demon has a long tongue, a thin body, and 3 fingers on each hand. Its nails are so sharp, they can split meat in half. It lives in dark, heavy places. It feeds on the souls of the dead." She described it so vividly. I could almost see it. I started feeling a little scared. Then she told me that she once encountered a demon, years ago. During a heart attack, she said she could see it clearly. A red figure coming toward her. She saw it. It was a demon. The demon said, "Come with me." But my grandma shook her head. "I've done nothing wrong. Why are you taking me?" The demon growled. "Shut up. You have to come with me." She shut up. Then opened its mouth wide and her brother had lung cancer. He was dying. She went to visit him. She asked him if he had seen anything strange. He said, "Yes. That night I saw a red man, and he said something to me." After that, she told the whole family her story about the demon. Everyone believed her, except me. I was just a kid back then. "Grandma, I don't remember you telling me this." She smiled. "You were too young, dear." After hearing her story, I drank some hot chocolate and went to bed when I couldn't sleep. The fear still lingered. Suddenly, I heard someone open the door. But I had locked it. There was a clock in my room. I looked up. It said 4:61 a.m. Yes, you heard that right, 4:61 a.m. How is that possible? Something felt wrong. I quickly grabbed my phone, turned on the flashlight, and there it was, the demon. The very same Satan she had described. Terrified, I screamed. I pulled the blanket over my head, but before I could cover myself, the demon grabbed my arm with its sharp claws. That's the last thing I remember. Then my grandfather broke down the door. He rushed in with a baseball bat, but the demon had vanished. He kept praying, all the way to the hospital. 30 minutes later, we arrived. That happened 6 years ago. I still have a scar on my arm. Thankfully, I've never experienced anything like that again.